What is going on? I'm zmot, and we are on the dev build. And you know we are on the dev build because of the fact that code zmot does not work. So if you're not sure, do throw code zmot in your game. If it doesn't work, it's because you're on the dev build. Also, a quick obvious hint is the fact that we have 1 million diamonds up there. I have not bought 1 million diamonds. I've bought a lot of them, and hyperbolically speaking, I've bought 1 million, but nope, not all at once. Anyways, why are we here? We are here because there's a big update coming. That update is called Storm After the Calm. Apparently it's been calm for a little bit, and now we're going to get a storm, and hopefully that storm is not full of bugs. There is some big stuff in there, so this update, some not so obvious stuff, so do check this entire video out. Towards the end, I'm gonna announce some more stuff that is coming in the future, some major changes, but for now, let's get through the little bits. There's little bits where issues with events not refreshing properly in the sidebar. There's issues with when events are gone, they're not, now they're going to be marked as completed, yada, yada, yada. You guys don't care. There's a message in the bottle on the beach not going to the next message in the bottle in the chain. Taunt was sometimes not working when a building was hacked. But there are other things, such as when you scout, if they have mines, which this base does not have. Do any NPCs have mines? I think they do, yes. None of the low-level ones do, so we're going to have to explore a bit of the map here, hopefully get something a little bit better that's got a mine so I can show you and not be a liar. Odd. There we go. We got a player base. It's code zmot. I heard of that guy. When you're scouting, it actually shows the damage of those mines now. It never did before. Same thing when you're attacking if you have some troops loaded. Explosive drones no longer OP on warships. Explosive drones no longer explode twice when they're attacking shielded defenses. I think that's silly. I think they should have left it. Regardless, also issues with Brick not moving after using her passive grenade. Now, here's a big one. Stat bonuses now affect NPC units. And what does that mean, you're saying? Stat units, like your trophies, now affect critters. And that might seem like no big deal, but if we click on this critter launcher, it shows that we're going to get 135 damage per second from those critters. And if we come over here on the dev build and we make ourselves a masterpiece, when that masterpiece is done, if it is a troop damage statue and we place it, we again go into here and notice that the critters, the DPS on critters is now from your troop damage statues. I double checked. This is the fact. This is normal. So when you throw critters or when your base throws critters, they will now be affected by troop damage statues. Think about that for a second when we are down here in warships. When the past you would throw critters or super warriors towards an engine room, they would have a little teeny tiny bit of damage. Imagine you had that 430% troop damage on your critters. That is a big deal. So season 68 is going to be wonky. Partially because your offensive stats are affecting your defensive troops, and partially because your offensive stats are affecting troops that have never had offensive boosts before. That is the biggest part of this sneak peek. There is new stuff, new building, new HQ level, etc. But this is the one that jumped out at me as the not so obvious one. There's going to be lots of sneak peeks about the other buildings. A quick note, in order to get headquarters level 27, you have to be XP level 71. Now, when this update's coming out, I don't know, soon, probably early next week. If I had to guess, I would say Tuesday, but that's a complete and utter guess. Now, get your XP level up and like just imagine attacking leaderboard players that have defensive boost statues, but they're going to boost their offense to boost their critters, maybe, like just strange stuff. This is going to be game changing and possibly game breaking. Very curious to hear what you guys have to say about that one. Also new on the dev build anyways, if you look up in that top left-hand corner, look way up, way up, the XP now goes to level 90. On the dev build previously, it only went up to 80 before. That means that maybe, just maybe, we're going to have some players hitting XP level 80 or 81. Haven't done the math, but needed to get some extra XP so we could get this headquarters upgraded. Looky, Engraver. New building. Boom Beach, new building. So one quick other thing, Kavon's second wind, you couldn't spam it before, now you can. The helper over in here now suggests the submarine stuff. Total text, like little teeny tiny updates. I will put all of the minor things down in there, but for right now, let's get that upgraded going. Notice quite expensive, 7 million of each, but we don't care because we got all the diamonds, and we're going to use a blueprint because we got all the blueprints too. So now buckle up, folks. This is crazy just how expensive this is. So we get one more boom mine. Hooray, boom mine. We get one more stone storage. Nobody cares. We're going to finish that with no, let's use a blueprint just because we're completely dumb. Anyways, this is the bit right here, the Engraver. Look how gosh darn expensive that is. 10 million of each. 7,000 gems. I hope you have your resource boat loaded. We are going to use time savers this time because you can never use too many time savers now, can you? Then we're going to use a blueprint just to make sure that we get all of the things. And we have a new sculptor, sort of ish. So this Engraver is, I'm going to go into that a little bit more in a second, but for right now, gameplay changes. So units now lose their flag and or target when they're grabbed by a grappler. Easy. Battle, there's ads at the end of Gearhart, not a big deal. And on the warships leaderboard, which of course I can't show you because it's stuck behind another sneak peek that you should subscribe for, there are new buttons that help you go up and down in the warships leaderboard. They go to like top and self, and I don't know how useful that is, but we'll find out. Also, if you go over into here, into the gameplay options, you can turn off camera shake. There was someone like 5 years ago that figured out how to hack the APK to do it locally on their own account. And now once you have some troops loaded, assuming you have the gold for it, we're going to get some troops there. When we attack, when we throw a barrage now, you'll notice that the camera no longer shakes. That, I think, is something everyone should enable because I think that camera shake slightly affects when I'm trying to base rush in warships. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. The shake just doesn't do anything useful, I don't think, but it's kind of cool at first. Maybe you guys like it, maybe you don't. Now that's it. That's the majority of it. There's some balance changes as well we'll get into in a second, but actually, you know what? Nope, I got to get into the balance changes. Scorchers. Those of you talked about the Scorcher bug. That is a big deal. So there was a bug, and I don't know if this is related. I'm going to read you the text. You tell me if this fixes the Scorcher bug that's going on. Scorchers and Mega Scorcher destruction explosion damage has been reduced by 40%. In the previous update, a bug was fixed that caused explosion damage to always use level 1 values instead of the current values. Fixing this tripled the explosion damage on a max level. That tells me that I think that's why Scorchers were all exploding at once, because the Scorchers were doing triple damage instead of what they were supposed to be doing. So when one Scorcher exploded, they all exploded. Maybe? I think that fixes the Scorcher bug. Would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. But now, do I get into the Engraver? No, we're going to keep going. I'll just talk to you about more of the balance changes. Low-level storages, store more resources. Hooray. The vault has been changed a little bit. Level 19 vault is at headquarters level 20. Level 20 is at 22. What it was before, I couldn't tell you. I did leave some feedback, though, because that is not useful notes. The team is going to try to fix that in the final version. Kavon, his galvanizing presence. Let's just get Kavon, shall we? So this right here, the galvanizing presence, they've smoothed that out a bit. I guess it wasn't increasing at a regular rate or something. And his second wind now unlocks at level 16. Before you would get level 5 and level 6 second wind at the same time. Now you get level 5 slightly earlier. In warships, Kavan Tick 4 is now level 16, and his second wind is level 5. It was previously 17 and 6, so a little bit of balance changes on Kavan. Also, they've also changed a bunch of troops in warships. Some of you just got super nervous. Like some of those levels, like Tick 3 Zukas, instead of being level 11 Zukas, they're now level 10. Like tiny little changes that no one will really notice because they affect everyone. And now, let's get on to headquarters level 27 and the Engraver. Sorry, I know. Now, first and foremost, this confused the crap out of me. So there are research and engravings, and in order to get your engravings unlocked, you have to research them. And there are 4 places, 4 research mills, I think they call these things. These are the research mills. Notice that it costs 5 shards to get it started. So we get that started. And the second mill now costs 7. Now, if we speed that up and finish it, the cost goes back to 5. It's that straightforward. It's that simple. And now we are going to get the armor engraving, and we are going to get it to level up. We get the quality increase of the armor engraving. And if you come back here, this can scroll. So what happened for me the first time was I got like the leech engraving, and I didn't see the leech engraving here, and I got more confused than I would care to admit. So this screen kind of sucks. You can scroll. There are 16 or 12 different engravings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different engravings. I'm kind of surprised they brought all 12 in at the same time, but c'est la vie. So we have got the armor engraving. This decreases the damage per shot of an enemy defense by 40. So if a machine gun or a cannon does 100 damage, now it's going to do 60. We can increase that quality using these tokens, and how you get those tokens are through this research. If you speed that up, and by the way, I've never managed to get one of these, and the couple of times that I've tried, you'll notice that it does this like roulette wheel thing, and then you get an upgrade. So our sabotage got quality upgraded, so we didn't need to get one of those tokens, so we can't choose where that token is used. If it lands on the token, you get the token. Maybe they'll be in the trader as well. Don't know. New resource down there in that bottom right hand corner that I can't quite zoom into. So do you want to use sabotage? Decreases enemy defensive statues by 5%. I will show you the maxes of all of these in a second. We'll go through them all. Power Surge gives 7% additional gunboat energy for every building destroyed. Ordnance increases damage from artillery and barrage by 10%. And now you notice that there are levels of these things. And then we're on level 1, and then we're on 47 of 950. That will go up by, and it's going to cost a lot of shards. I notice that if we get that first one started, that goes up to 7 to 15 to 30. So you're probably going to want to do these one at a time, but maybe you've got shards for days and you want to just get these maxed. So all the power to you if that's what you decide. Moving down the line. And by the way, you can only see up in that top right-hand corner right there. Right about there, you can only have one of these active at a time, so I'll get to that in a second. Now, moving down, you can get speed, they heal themselves, kind of neat. You can slow down your enemy defenses. You get a 5% opponent's offensive statue boost. So again, if your opponent has offensive statues, you get some of their stuff. Like you basically do like life leech of their statues, which is kind of cool. And then for people who don't have instant training, 10% of your troops come back at the end of a battle. So that is super, super handy. And no, these do not translate to warships. I don't know that 100%. I did ask the question, but the answer I got is that at the moment, engravings do not apply to warships. And then finally, alchemy. 40% of a looted, this one confused the crap out of me. 40% of looted construction resources will balance out. So right now, if I was to loot someone with like 15 million gold, a bunch of those resources gold would be converted to stone and iron and wood, I think. You know what? Let's research that. Let's speed up all of these things, and then I will go attack something. Like, this is a bit confusing, and do consider subscribing because we're going to have all sorts of goodness as far as which engravings to target, which ones are the best, yada, yada, yada. And you see, again, I did not get any of those tokens, but maybe it's because I already have 999 and that's the max. I really, really don't know. Okay, so next up, how you activate them is they cost 7 powder if you want to activate them now. Super duper expensive. Now, if you want to activate them and you can wait 11.5 hours, it only costs 4 powder. Now, what does that mean? How long are they activated for? I don't actually know the answer to that one. They're just activated, and there don't appear to be a timer. So maybe 7 powder is actually quite cheap. You want to just activate it and leave it forever. I'm just gonna have to get back to you on that one. So do watch for a full video on the engravings, on the engraver, on the best things to target. I will have that for you soon, but that is the basics of engravings. And before we get too far away, you guessed it, we maxed all of the engravings. So 30% extra barrage on artillery and barrage for those players who just want to clear their map and not lose troops. Maybe now with max GBE statues boosted, you can just barrage down a headquarters. Someone is going to have to do the math on that. 55% additional gunboat energy. That is going to be huge for the Mega Crab, I would assume. Again, you can activate these things whenever you want. I kind of assume, like, I don't see a timer anywhere here. Do we have a timer anywhere? Don't see a timer. So suddenly we've got this one activated, and you can't activate another engraving until you go back and deactivate, which is kind of nice. It would be a pain in the butt if you activated one and forgot that you had a different one activated, so that kind of makes sense. And I am just assuming the fact that this says 1 out of 1, at some point we might get a second slot, just like the sculptor did. Moving down, adrenaline, 20% movement speed. I don't know why the heck you would use that, but maybe blah, 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 making shocks and cryo bombs and stuff not last as long. Rally, your troops are going to get 0.6% faster every time you lose a unit. Again, I don't know why that one would be a big deal. I don't know if these are going to be balanced or tweaked or new ones added at some point. I kind of assume so. Leech is great. That's another one that would be great for the Mega Crab. Slows down enemy defenses by 15%. That might be good on the leaderboard, but otherwise, nah. Decreases enemy defensive statues by 35%. That might be great. I don't know how that 35% applies, if it's just going to like subtract or actually multiply. Armor, 100 damage less per shot, making boom cannons and cannons less useful. Intel, I wish this actually gave you a better chance of intel, but nope, you're getting 35% of your opponent's offensive boost. So if you've got 160% troop damage, that's going to be great for your opponents. Moving down the list, I'm sorry this is long, but 40% of triage. That, for if you don't have instant training, triage, I think you have to target that. 40% of your troops lost. Let's just see how that works, shall we? Let's go over here to triage. Let's activate that after a battle. Now, that tells me that it should work for every battle, not just a battle that you lose or win. So let's get in. Let's scroll on over here and let's have a little bit of fun against code zmot. Zmot versus zmot. And we are going to see just how this thing works. We are going to drop every single one of our troops. We are going to throw a barrage on top of them and then just flaring into the mines, just trying to murder every single one of these guys and see if we get any of them back. We are going to lose this battle because I specifically want to see if this perk, this engraving, works when you lose or just when you win, and gonna see how many of these guys come back and which landing crafts they're in, and all of the rest of the questions that are bubbling to the top of my mind. I really, really think this is going to be a very, very strong engraving. This is the one that I think everyone should probably target. And look at that. We got 96 riflemen back. And where are they? They are in every single landing craft. And this is probably not going to work when you use a Scorcher because you can't get 40% of a Scorcher. But again, those are the kind of things that need to be investigated. Do consider coming back for another video on this. Hit me up with the questions that this brings to mind for you. We're going to do one more. We are going to get that one deactivated. This activate, deactivate thing annoys me already. And we're going to get the alchemy one loaded because I have no idea what the heck this is going to do. We are going to load up and we are going to, with no statues, we are going to attack this right here. Get that base down. Come on. And just like that, on the dev build, I can just win. It's that simple. So we're going to drop one troop. Hooray, we have won. And we had a lot of gold and no other resources. And now what has happened here? I don't know, to be honest. We didn't scout. Someone please let me know what happened with that. So 59,000 iron. Are we going to get more than that in our storages? No. I honestly, this one just confuses the crap out of me. So the alchemy does not make a heck of a lot of sense to me. So we'll have to see exactly. You know what? I can actually just... No, we would... Anyways, doesn't matter. Not important. Moving forwards, moving on to the next thing, the important detail, that is what is coming next. And this is weird because they've never told us what's coming next before, and we actually get to tell you, which is very, very, very strange. And I'm just going to double check that we're allowed to tell you. Yeah, I confirmed it. So we are allowed to tell you this. There is a new feature coming early next year. Let's just confirm that it says early next year. It says next year here somewhere. Yes, early next year. There are going to be new sneak peeks. There's a new feature called Squad Leaders. Basically like a hero per landing craft is the way that I kind of read it. The troops in one landing craft are considered a squad, not squad busters, but squad leaders. One squad leader can be attached to one squad. So imagine we can put Bullet in this landing craft. I don't know if the squad leaders are going to be like our existing heroes or a new troop or what, but squad leaders have the same troop types as normal troops and can be attached to the same troop as they are. So maybe there's going to be like a heavy squad leader and a rifleman squad leader. I don't know if it's going to be a Scorcher squad leader. I don't know. Regardless, there is a new flare for those squad leaders. So you can flare this landing craft to the left and this one to the right, and then just all over the place. So people have been asking for a hero flare for a while. We get squad leader flares instead. Now, squad leaders have their own stats and abilities. No idea what that means. It's going to be interesting. There's new stuff coming. And using them does not cost anything, and they can be freely removed and moved around. They're marked in the battlefield somehow. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. This is going to be interesting to see how these things are working and how many squad leaders we get and how we get more and how we unlock them and yada, yada, yada. So their special abilities apply only to the leader or to the squad they are leading. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know if that means like, yeah, I just don't know. So do consider subscribing. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think about this, what you think about that. Ooh, almost showed some of that boom pass, but did not. Also, season 68 of Warships is coming soon. Lots of good stuff, my friends. Again, critters are going to be the most interesting thing, or they're going to be super boring and it's not going to matter. But I figured I'd raise it just in case you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions. Hit me up in the comments down below. I shall talk to you soon. Thank you for coming in, using code zmot in your real game, and I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. Like, share, subscribe, get that submarine going, get your headquarters at level 27. That satellite dish is ridiculous. I'll talk to you soon. I'm zmot. Peace.